Hi, welcome to Astrology for Gann traders. My name's Olga Morales, and this is a quick overview of the Capricorn ingress, or the solstice, coming up tomorrow, which is when the sun moves into 0 degrees of Capricorn. Okay, but what's important about this ingress is that it's obviously a Gann seasonal date, but also the fact that the sun at 0 degrees of Capricorn is square the midpoint of Pluto and Uranus, which are at uh, 0 Aries. Okay, so these are two outer planets that are quite important for on a generational cycle, as a generational cycle. And we know that Pluto is all about transformation and rebuilding, like the phoenix rising out of the ashes, and Uranus always pretty much revolutionary, sudden changes, and breaking out of the status quo. So these two are really important, and the fact that their midpoints at 0 degrees of Aries, which is the world point, is obviously very important for all of us who live in the world. And what I found to be amazing when I did my research is that I wanted to know how often has this happened in the past, that we have at an ingress these two planets activated at 0 degrees of Aries, because that's what we do. As in the same method as Gann, we always have to look back at the past to see what was going on. Okay, so of course that's what Olga does. And when I look back, it actually was on the 23rd of December 1906 was when the sun, again Capricorn, was at the midpoint of Uranus and Pluto. Now they're a bit higher in the zodiac, but their midpoint was still at 0 degrees of Aries. Okay, so that will be 120 years ago. Okay, which is, according to Gann's rules, obviously very important because it's 2 times 60. And I know what happened in 1906. And if you've read Tunnel Through the Air, you should know too, because in 1906, there was a San Francisco earthquake. Okay, and again starts Tunnel Through the Air with talking about the San Francisco earthquake. So I look back at the chart. This is a chart for the San Francisco earthquake, and you can tell at the time, the exact time of the earthquake, you can see that Uranus is right on the midheaven, okay, going through San Francisco. And on the IC is Neptune. Now Pluto's over here, okay, but when we put them on the world map, okay, astrocartography, you can see that at that time, what I've done here, I've only put the sun, Uranus and Pluto, their midpoint on this chart. Okay, now have a look what was happening at that time. We can see that those three, the combination, are actually on the descendant, so they're on the descendant because they're descending, and also on the MC going over the west coast of the United States. Okay, we also have a lot of activity through Tokyo and parts of Australia. Okay, and I don't know, I haven't looked back. This can be research for other people. Did we have activity in Tokyo, in Japan as well, in 1906? Were there earthquakes then? Let me know in the comments below. But the other thing is, we need to look at if you're interested in the stock market, according to Gann, we have to look at these cycles. So if 1906 is exactly for next year will be 120 years, that's going to be an important cycle. And it's also links in with the Chinese cycles of the 60 years times 2. Okay, so this is what the stock market was like in 1906, and I've written shocks precede panics because that's exactly what happens. So there was shock in 1906, which eventually led to a panic in 1907. Now, I'd like you to do a bit of research for yourself. What was happening at this time? What happened in 1907 that we could potentially see similar patterns happening between 2026 and 2027. Is this pattern going to repeat? Well, this is what we, as Gann analysts, we need to look back, and this is what the pattern was in the past 120 years ago. I imagine 120 years is going to be significant, not only for the Jupiter-Saturn cycle, but also for this midpoint alignment. So whether I don't want to say that there's going to be another earthquake in San Francisco, but there might be some sort of shock in another part of the country, of the world, that then rattles on many levels. So, but there definitely was, after the fact, a financial panic in the year after. So I just put it out there because last time I was looking at something unusual about the Capricorn ingress was when Saturn was conjunct that ingress, and that led to me looking back, and I found that last time that happened was during the bubonic plague, and of course then we had COVID. Okay, we had the another virus that took over the world. So I mean, these patterns are so amazing, and I wanted to put it out there. It's a little bit, I don't know if anyone else has talked about it, doubt it, but this is what it's like. So it's really important because anytime the Aries point, there's a planet's midpoints at the Aries world point, it means that the whole world on a mundane level is impacted by it. Okay, it's not just individual places. So yeah, thank you for listening.